Oh, it's working. Hey guys.
Hey, Jody.
Are you saying hi guys to us, or are you saying hi guys to the audience?
No, you. There's nobody with
okay,
us yet.
okay.
It's just the three of us.
Oh, okay. Hi.
I want to
Hi,
change
Jody.
the words to that song instead of just the two of us. It's just the three of us.
Three of us.
Making castles in the sand. I brought my special Shania Twain cup to celebrate today.
Oh, good thing my wife came on.
And I noticed you.
I know.
Is that a Blondie shirt you're wearing as well?
It is a Blondie shirt.
Oh,
I
girl.
felt it was like the most radio-related T-shirt that I've had.
Nice.
Today.
Nice.
Fun. But I appreciate you coming on to have coffee. We'll see if people join us. We're on a different day and a completely different time than normal. I just like to throw a wrench into the.
This stays up in the vault of eternity anyway. It stays up in the vault.
Whether people are with us live or not, please say hi in the comments. Let us know you're hanging out, and welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. I'm really excited to have these two on the show because you've actually, regardless of what would be happening later this week that we'll talk about in a moment, you two were on my list to have come chat with us because you're doing some really cool community that I love to share. And that's one of my favorite topics on Coffee Club is connecting with people and talking about the cool things that they're doing to build community within community. And the two of you have this amazing projects underway that I'm excited to introduce to people today because I think every community could use something like this. And that is that you've created your own basically broadcasting association, like a nonprofit. So Amanda, you are the president of this. So we're going to get the goods from you. And David's just here for comedic relief. No, I'm kidding. You got good things too.
Thank you. Well, I was gonna say I'm here for the good looks, but I mean we're all good looking. So
we're all in radio for a reason. But let's start off by talking about your broadcasting association and kind of how that came to be, because I love this concept.
Yeah, I mean, I hate saying the word, but during COVID, we run a DJ company, so everything was canceled, right? Can't do weddings, can't do events, can't do anything. So we kind of were sitting around with our thumbs twiddling, and Dave's not really one to just sit around and do nothing. And we were new to Nanton. We had just moved here, 6 months before, so we were still kind of learning things and figuring things out, meeting people. And then when it shut down, we thought, okay, so how can we reach out to our community and help them, see who's still open, let people know, what's still going on. And we developed a show just like yours. You developed your show as well to connect people. And then once kind of all that stuff was, going on longer and longer, Dave has a background in radio, and he said, why don't we start a radio station in town? So we looked into it, we, researched it, and we thought the best way to do it is to create a nonprofit organization and supply this for our community. And so we created the Nanton Community Broadcasting Association. We run the community radio under it. Right now it's online radio only, but we're looking to see how we can expand that. And Good Morning Nanton Live is under it. We do, Connecting Claire's Home is under it. So we do a lot of things. It's all about community work. We supporting businesses, people, service groups. Our focus is really about the people outside of this building. So that's what's most important.
And how do you feel the response has been so far?
It's been great.
Like things take time to take off sometimes.
Well, we can feel the trajectory is up.
Is growing.
It's always growing, and it takes time to build. And the whole concept of a hyper-focused community radio station, and what I mean by that is we're not interested in trying to reach the Lethbridge demographic. We're not interested in trying to reach necessarily the Claire's Home or the High River demographic. We want a radio station that people in town tune into, and they hear somebody that they know immediately, and they can relate to immediately in their own town, and they know that whatever we are going to talk about is, you know, going to be about this town and its 2,200 residents here, and its businesses and everything else. And it's something that I actually realized because I was part of the National Community Campus Radio Association, which is a national governing body, and their association had a basically came to Calgary and put on, you know, a bunch of conference. Yeah, they did a conference in Calgary, and so we went to that conference, and it was only about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, end of May. So we went there, and they continually talked about how campus and community radio is growing from a hyper focused perspective, and how more of these need to be popping up, because it's very, very cool to have your community focused on solely, and you're not, you know, stretching yourself out over multiple communities where people then they don't know who you're talking about anymore. Yeah. So they thought that this is the way of the future. And I didn't even kind of realize that. I just thought, well, it'd be really cool for a little community like ours to have its own little radio station to inform everybody what's going on.
Look at you, you're a trendsetter, Dave.
I guess so. I didn't realize. I didn't know. So yeah. And then once they put it in that perspective, then, you know, then I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. We'll continue then, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Well, you don't have to preach the gospel of the importance of community radio to me by any means. I'm on board. I love the hyper focus piece. And the other thing that I really love that's in your makeup of your concept is the fact that there's a really affordable way for businesses to market themselves, and then that money goes back into your community.
Into the community.
Explain a little bit how that works, because it's brilliant.
Yeah. So we do, you know, we have advertising, and it's pretty affordable, we think. And, you know, for the amount of plays that you get, you can't compare it to what you would be paying for. And absolutely our market is a little bit smaller, but what we think is really amazing is if you're walking into the grocery store, you're walking into one of the businesses, you're in the bank, you hear them playing it, and you're getting the promotion of the other businesses in town, and people who are, you know, visiting Nanton, who are here just learning about it. They're learning about the other businesses in town. And then we take all those funds and we put them back into the community we just hosted a pre-Canada Day dance. We're doing a roller skate party to kick off Nanton Days. We've done, you know, other events, and we've got something coming up for next year that we're not going to talk about, but it's going to be amazing. And so like we want to put things on, and somebody asked us recently, like, why don't you charge an admission for your dances? I would pay. And we're like, because we want it open to everyone. You know, and we do get quite a lot of responses. You know, we have teenagers come to our dances.
That's a big deal.
Whoa.
That's a big deal.
Golden goose. Yeah.
I know. So, you know,
right, the golden goose.
it's our time. That's what we love to do. It's literally why we moved out of Calgary, because we wanted to do things like this. And we found that in our community in Calgary, they weren't interested in it. People, you know, it's too negative, too competitive, you know, just doors were closing. So we thought, okay, let's go somewhere where the doors will be open. And Nanton has 100% been that for us. So, so we want to give back to Nanton.
I might be a little biased because I was born and raised there. It's my hometown, so I feel it. But I think what's nice about it is it's creating that connection and community in a really unique and fun way. And I think that communities are in need of that, especially coming out of COVID. And I know that you're like, oh, I don't want to mention it. But the thing that I think was really exceptional about that time frame that you guys are a great example of is it gave people an opportunity to get creative, and it gave people an opportunity to pivot and to come up with these new ideas and give them a try and see what happens. And so creating this hyper focused radio station for a community is one of those really great things that you might have it might have been like a dream on your heart, David, like it's been on mine for a long time too, of this kind of concept. but you might not have followed through with it because you're like, well, I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to it eventually. And that's what I feel like is the positives coming out of a really crazy time frame for us, is that these kind of things could be birthed. And I think there's more of them coming, which I'm excited for communities for in that. But just a really fun way to promote the community of Nanton and give back to the community.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I got to come down yesterday and co-host David and Garrett's show from noon to 1. And I was just sitting there and I'm listening to this commercial from the kids from AB Daily School sharing their top 5 things that they got to do to promote kindness in their community. And honest to goodness, I could have cried in that moment.
Absolutely.
Because it was so cool to.
Dave's crying right now. That's why his video's off.
Fine. I make him cry all the time. It was just so cool to hear, one, kids getting excited about giving back to their community, hearing kids' voices on the radio. Like, it's what community radio is supposed to be like. And it was so awesome. Like,
it's amazing. And from the first time those kids came in and it was so like foreign and weird and scary, you know, some of them would cry because they had to, you know, talk and
don't know how to say this.
You know, some of them don't, you know, maybe don't read so well, but the confidence that you could see, they would have different groups that would come back. And I heard them as they came in and they're like, this is the last time we get to come to the radio. And I just thought like, oh, you know, we need to have more opportunities to have those kids back. Because I don't know about you, Jody, but like I grew up in the Buckshot show days, and I will still tell people I was on that show 5 times. It was amazing. And little things like that, that just like kids carry forward with them, right? And just the confidence they had. If you compared the first radio recording with the kids to the last one we just did, I think it's a huge difference in their confidence, and I think that's great.
Yeah, and I love that. And we gotta create future broadcasters somewhere. So I
absolutely
start there. And then I know you guys have a practicum student from Lethbridge that's been a part of the station for the last few months and is doing great. And I met another great young person yesterday when I was there. Who's doing a little work experience and learning. And that's the stuff. Like, that's the stuff communities are made of, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it is something that I think you're right. It's important to get kids interested in this, you know, this business, right? Like, I don't want to say radio is dying. It's still there. It's still, broadcasting is important. Yeah.
And there's like people who pivot will continue to succeed, and the ones that don't shift and change. But I don't think that radio will ever be wiped out by playlists and apps and all of those things at the end of the day, because, and I believe this in my heart, people still need to connect with somebody. You can think of like, you listen to your Spotify list and you love it, but when you listen to a broadcast, whether you're listening to an online or a regular commercial style station, you still connect with the person that's talking to you. And humans need personal connection. So there's no way that will ever die, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wish
we won't let it. No,
that's right.
well, but that's a great segue into, you know, when we interviewed and talked to Keeson, who is we'll call him a summer student because it rolls off the tongue a little easier. So we got a summer job. We got a summer job grant. And when Keeson came and we decided we wanted to hire him, we were talking to him. He said, radio is what kept him company a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so that's why he loves radio so much. It was that moment, especially during COVID, when he needed to have some connection with somebody, and he felt like he was able to connect with somebody who was talking to him on the other side of the microphone. So that was very important for him. And I really appreciated that.
Well, and I was in the industry for over 20 years, like 22 years. And so I got numerous amounts of feedback and heard stories of how, you know, people need that connection, and people, like, it's still always funny that people, they think they know you when they meet you because they spend so much time with you. And it's always an unfortunate space because you're like, I'm so glad we spent that time together, but I don't know anything about you. And so it takes a little to come back, but that's the cool thing about it. And I think that's nice. And so I'm really excited that you guys have welcomed me onto your team to be a part of creating this community, and I'm really excited for the show that you're allowing me to do. I'm so excited, and I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, no problem.
We're so excited to have you on, Jody. I think it's going to be great. We keep trying to think of and trying to coerce people to, come on, do a show, do a radio show, have some time. We need to have extra voices and like extra thoughts and perspectives on things. And I'm really, really excited about what you've come up with, because I think it's exactly what we believe in as well. So
I think she might know a little bit more about what you came up with than you do. So that
yeah, she sees the vision that I don't even know what I'm doing.
I thought.
I think it's gonna be a molding, living radio show. We don't know exactly what
everything is, but the concept is kind of there, right?
And so I know when we talked about, positivity. That and that's another important thing I think that we need to mention about the radio station is we know that there are a million places out there in social media land and TV land and radio land that people can have their debates about, all the world's issues. We wanted our station, because it is hyper focused, to be hyper focused on the community and the positivity of the community and the people coming together and the businesses and how you support local and how you support each other. And so we decided, as a mandate, we're not going to touch a lot on politics. We're not going to touch a lot on race, religion, anything that is going to take away from the positivity of what we want to do here on the station. So with that being said, you came in with this idea because I know that you are a very positive person. And
yes. No.
And so you came in with this idea of having a show that's all about positive music and uplifting. You go from 10 to 12 on Thursdays now. So that's a perfect time to lift people up.
Well, and I think that a lot of that also, I want to give kudos to the Nanton people who came to partake in my meditation classes. So over the last year, I've been teaching group meditation, sort of this other journey that I've taken in my life. And I started teaching classes in Nanton. And that's kind of how we all got connected, because you had me come on Good Morning Nanton live one weekend. And then I was like in your studio and I was like, oh no, like I miss this so much. Like I feel it in my bones. I'm like, David, I'm never leaving. But it was in those classes that I just really got to connect back with my home community and hanging out with all these beautiful people from town and being able to help them with their mental health, giving them a tool to increase their positivity and some calm and elements into their life. It really just struck me that I was like, I want to be able to do more of this in this community. And how can I do that? So it's sort of morphed from these amazing students that I've had into, I want to try to capture that a bit without us like meditating for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But just the whole concept of us, let's have some conversations about mental health. Let's talk about positivity. Let's play songs that, I know even just planning the show that's coming up for Thursday, I've been thinking a lot about, okay, what are the songs that when they come on, if I hear them on my playlist or the radio, that I'd start to turn it up.
Yeah.
So what are those songs, and putting those into that playlist for those 2 hours that we hang out on Thursdays. And the show, I think, will continue to evolve in this really positive, exciting, upbeat kind of way. And just, I've always been the person to have, sort of real conversations around that. And so how can we connect and know, and then share resources that we already have in the community of Nanton. If you're not feeling so hot today, where do we go to connect into getting a little bit of extra support, or what does that look like? Or knowing, hey, I know on Thursdays between 10 and noon, I can tune in for a dose of something that's going to pump me up for the day. And that's my goal, is that I hope that what if you tune in for 5 minutes or all 2 hours, that you leave feeling just a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So I've posted officially and I've shared. And I don't know if I take the right Jody Seeley. I hope I did. I don't know if you saw it.
We'll have to look after. Yeah.
But and I don't know if this is too bright here. Let me let me dim the screen a little bit so I can see if we can see this okay. So officially, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
There
and
it is.
the little birthday cake and everything.
Yeah.
See?
So when we were planning, like, okay, when do we want to launch the show and what do we want to do? And I said to David, like, why don't we launch it on my birthday? My birthday is on July 20th. I think it would feel so beautiful for me to celebrate my birthday with my home community and have some fun. So that's what we decided to do. But you did this little teaser campaign for anybody on Coffee Club who hasn't followed
That was
the
actually
Nanton
pretty cool.
Broadcasting Association yet. We're going to tag it into this video so you can. But he did this sort of like blurred out photo guessing game. And
Yeah.
there's some really bizarre guesses. Like Shania Twain was a guest. Lindsay Butler was a guest. Jennifer Handley, who just made a comment. Good morning, Jennifer. I'm okay. Like, yeah, you could think I'm her. She's a powerhouse. But like yesterday, you were like, Lyle Lovett was a guest. I'm like,
Yeah,
Lyle
that's
Lovett.
right. Lyle Lovett.
Do I look like Lyle Lovett when I'm blurred out? Yeah.
Even blurred out. I'm not sure you resemble Lyle Lovett.
Just some really funny guesses, but
yeah, we just wanted to encourage
reveal
people to have
today.
fun.
Yeah. Well, if we're not having fun, what's the point?
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So I'm really looking forward to this show, and it feels nice. I don't know if anybody talked to me yesterday after I was driving back from Nanton. I was jacked. Like I was just like on cloud 9 from being able
Oh, that's
to
nice.
co-host with you for an hour. So I was just like, yeah, there's some things that are just a piece of your blood, right? So
yeah,
that's really nice. That's very, very nice.
Always gonna cry again.
We promote crying because it's a really good release and stepping into positive mental health.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's all part of life, right? You gotta accept it.
I don't think there's anything more special than knowing how when you positively impact somebody's.
Yeah, exactly. I love to make people cry. It's my favorite thing. No,
yeah. I haven't cried like this on a show for a while.
For a while.
Jennifer Handley was on.
No, Jennifer Handley was always guilty of making me cry all the time. And
yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Need a little more dose of Jennifer Handley.
Oh, the whole world needs
we
that.
had a crying competition, so Jennifer and I. So
nice. Well, she's gonna be a guest on the show. So
nice.
We're gonna have some fun with it and
excellent
just play. And I'm feeling I was really kind of funny yesterday because just to give people a little background fun tidbit is when I came into the studio, David's like, okay, I need you to record like a little promo that we're gonna run on the station for you now. And I was like, like it's been 6 years since I've recorded a promo. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And I just like rattled off something. And I just love Garrett turned around and was like, how did you do that?
Just boom.
I'm like,
for her, it's easier than getting back on a bike.
Yeah, I kicked off my shoes because if anyone knows the quirk me of like old radio days is I can never broadcast with shoes on. I cannot. I kicked off my shoes and I was like, all right, headphones on, let's do this. But it was a nice moment for me because it felt like coming home.
Yeah.
It was coming home in my home. Like it was so serendipitous that I'm just so freaking excited to give back to this community. And I hope we can really increase the listenership and get more businesses advertising to support so we can put more money into this community because Nanton is a freaking gem. And so it's time to have it shine.
Yeah. So that's, if you don't mind me just mentioning something kind of, again, segueing off of what you just said. When we were starting out and even today, like you said, we want to increase the listenership. That's a very important thing. But we have accomplished so much, even with the low listenership that we have had growing this thing. It doesn't even matter because the people that are coming in here and learning and being inspired and us getting out in the community with these people and the money that comes in to be able to put out into a tangible way, putting on these dances, these roller skating parties, these, whatever we're doing, the listenership is almost secondary. Although it is nice. It's like the icing on the cake to be able to have great listenership in town. The fact that the nonprofit has been injecting all this money back into the community, even without that, it's like speaks volumes of what we're capable of doing here. And we had a board meeting and everybody was just like, how are we doing this? How are we doing this?
I think they were surprised.
They were surprised.
But and one thing that we did at the end of the school year was we helped the band program. They've had a show on, and we wanted to help raise money, so we matched their bake sale funds that they raised. And so many people said, I'm so glad the money that I bring into karaoke and advertising is going back to those kids and being, used in that way. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to create a scholarship for kids who want to go into, broadcasting or music production or anything like that. We're going to continue to grow those opportunities, and this is just the beginning for what we're going to do. So
once I think about how, if the listenership grows, it starts to grow exponentially. Oh my goodness. Watch out, man.
It will.
It's going to be
no
crazy.
doubt in my mind. It's going to be good. So I'm excited for the show. So how do people listen? Where do they go? What do they do? What do we got to download? How do we make this happen?
Okay, well, let's talk about what you can actually, that we know you can actually do right now. So you can go to the website, which is euroradio.ca. Euroradio, EUROradio.ca. So that's how you can go on the website and listen to it. There's a little play button right in the front. Put play. The other way is that we've got a Euro app, EURO APP, all one word. And you can find it on Google Play, or you can go to the iTunes, not the iTunes, the Apple App Store, and you can download it from there. Download the app. You can play it on there. We also have set up, and this is in the works right now. So just be clear, those first two that I just mentioned, that's ready to go right now. You can do it. But the next ones, we are now working on getting it set up so that you can use your Alexa. So Alexa, play Euro Radio. You can set it up on your Apple TV, your Apple Watch, I think I'm not a Google guy, but I think it's Fire TV for Google or something like that. So you could set it up on there. That is what we're working on right now, so that we have multiple places that people can tune into it. No excuses. There you go. There's a Euro app right there. So no excuses to not be informed about what's going on in town. You have lots of places you can tune into it and listen to it, and Bluetooth it in your car and take us with you wherever you are, because it's online. So you can be in London and be listening to us and keep in touch with your community in London. So
in London. Yeah, no, I love it. Okay. So we can download it. We can listen to it in the car. We can listen to it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're a Nanton business who doesn't currently yet advertise with the station, here's your sign.
That's right. That's right.
We're taking over the town, baby.
Or if you're a Nanton business that's not currently playing the station,
play it.
Here's your chance. Play it.
But that's an interesting thing we didn't really talk about. We wanted to be.
I think it's so fun. Like when you go. Sorry, go ahead.
So I think I froze. So I was going to say one thing we didn't really talk about is we wanted to be a source of information and communication. Everyone talks about, how do I find out these things are going on? I'm not on Facebook. I don't do this. I don't do that. It's like, well, you can listen to the radio, and we've got it playing of, events that are happening, things that you need to, do. And we also have the, Nanton business directory that we created, which has the listing of all the businesses. It has the ability to scan or go to our website and see the event calendar. Too much wrestling, Dave.
He's all like, yeah. And I think that was really cool, because yesterday that I met Garrett from the team, and he was recording the news, and I put it like this because the news was all the community events that were coming up.
Yeah.
That was the news. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this so much.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good segue into something else. Another collaboration we've got going on that I went in yesterday and started working on.
What's that?
So we are now going to be having the radio station playing at the Visitor Information Center. And we're working on...
Yes, I saw there's a new one opened up.
So the Visitor Information Center just opened up. And so we're working on more collaborations with them. And I don't really want to announce things, everything right now, because we want to make sure we're clear on exactly what we're going to be doing. but I know that we've got the radio station down there, and one of our volunteers for the station, Holly, is actually working at the visitor information center. So it doesn't hurt to have, a volunteer at the station working there. So that,
placing our volunteers everywhere.
That's right. Exactly.
Part of our world domination starting in Nanton.
Jody, it's not a bad idea. Everybody struggles for volunteers. And so if we can be the hub of, you need a volunteer for something, come to us. We'll supply your volunteers for you.
We got you, boo. Yeah.
And we've got our tentacles into every part of Nanton.
That's perfect. Well, and I just love it's Nanton people doing Nanton things, talking about Nanton, and it's really exciting. So we hope people will tune in for my very first show on Thursday morning, starting at 10. It's from 10 to noon, Mountain Standard Time. And I don't know if any idea at this point what button to push and what that looks like. So David will be with me first thing because I don't know what I'm doing, but eventually we're going to get stuff figured out.
That's right.
So while you're doing that, Amanda's going to be running around town with a big flag going, tune into Jody Seeley show right now.
I want you to wear a sandwich. I want you to wear a sandwich board. And
that's right. So,
Jody show.
It's on right now. Tune in. Every business, she's going to pop her head in and go, you have Jody show on right now? And you know what? What's really funny is that in the first hour, we'll be able to get to all the businesses in town to promote it, and then be back here for the second hour, and everybody would tune in.
It'll be perfect.
The
first hour is going to be a bit shaky anyway. They'll be like, how do I see this? Now, one more quick question before I let you go, because I'm sure we could talk all day long about this. But the name Euro Radio, where did that come from?
I'm gonna Amanda. Okay, so the name came from our business initially. Okay. Our business is Euro Productions Entertainment Services. And when we decided to start the radio station and didn't really know what direction we were going to go with it, everything in our business as a branding has always been Euro karaoke, Euro lighting, Euro sound, Euro whatever. And so we just decided, let's just keep the branding. It's nice and easy and it works for us, and we don't have to think too hard about what we should call the station. But we didn't know really where the station was going to go at that time. So we just called it Euro Radio. Now, with that being said, there have been board meetings and I totally am 100% in agreement that the name and the brand probably should reflect Nanton a little bit more. So because it is a nonprofit, and so we want to eventually try to change the branding of the station so that it's more Nanton related than our company related. But really the only reason was because
when you launch stuff like that, it totally makes sense. I just wasn't sure where it came from. And I'm like, did you ever say EURO out loud before deciding?
I never did. And it took me a while.
You pick more harder letters for us to have to say as announcers on your station.
It did. It took a while for me to learn it. But hey, you know what? So don't worry, we'll come up with something a lot easier here in the next year or so. But the kids are catching on to it. Keeson's got it down, I think. And Cloud's got it down. And Garrett's getting it.
Give me some tips then.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming on to share your vision with everybody who connects with us. And we've got viewers from all over the world that are a part of virtual coffee clubs. So if you want to connect with David and Amanda to maybe learn more about how you could do something like this in your community, you can do that too. If nothing else, we want you to tune in and listen and see what we're doing and learn about this really cool town in Southern Alberta. And if you could support the show and give me some support and being like, how do I ride this bicycle again? We're just looking forward to having some fun with you regardless. And I'm just excited to be back in my hometown broadcasting to such a great community. That
we're excited to have
so
you,
good Jody. To me growing up. So yeah, it'll be so good.
Thank you so much for having us on here to talk about this. And I think I kind of feel like in this community, the pinnacle for me was being on your show. So that's
wow. Like you peaked in high school. Yeah.
Love it.
Over. Yeah.
No, more of this
Beautiful.
kind of stuff needs to happen. This is awesome. Thank you, Jody, for
Very
what you
cool.
do.
All right. Thanks, you guys. And we will see you on Thursday morning when I
See you on
go back
Thursday.
to radio school. It's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. And just appreciate what you do in your community. Thanks, you guys, so very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Jody.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.